Hi guys, here's Doc's Market Minute for Thursday, April 21st. I'm looking at the Transports Index. Now, the Transports Index has already dropped by more than 30% during this bear market and is one of the hardest hit indices, and actually started out this whole correction way back at the end of 2014. Was weak through all of 2015, and as we know, at the beginning of 2016 actually reached down at about a 30% clip. Now, I expected it to come all the way back down to this pivot level on the monthly chart and retest that. Anytime we have, look at the amount of consolidation. Look at this signal that we had here showing that we were about to see a big signal on the transports at the end of 2012. Boom! Look at that move, okay? But anytime we have a move like this, tend to have a difficult time on the backside. So now what is happening with the transports? It seems to be rallying quite strongly off of here and is actually above this trend line. So that's actually not a bad sign for this. So before I just go, straight whole hog bull into the transport index, this is what I want to see. Now, first of all, I like this move. This is actually a good sign here because now we put in a higher low and a higher high and change the polarity around to an uptrend on the weekly chart. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing to see. And all that's doing, though, is that's building this monthly swing higher. Before I go whole hog on the transports, what I want to see is a sustainable, strong, higher low setting up on the monthly chart. If we come screaming down here, that's going to generate a lot of bearish sentiment. And if it does find support down here, then we are going to see a good bounce, and I think that's going to be a tradable low at that point, and we should be selling hard against that. Now, as one of my readers pointed out today, this is actually forming an inverted head and shoulders on here. It's a little difficult to see. Perhaps it's a little easier to see here on the weekly chart. So the price is just coming up to this neckline here. I don't consider this to be a right shoulder. I would expect to see a right shoulder be a bit more fully formed like this. But, as we know, price can do whatever it wants to. I mean, it doesn't have to just, well, wait a minute, we have to pull back because that fits the inverted head and shoulders. Of course not. So the price can just keep on trucking here. But what I'd like to see for me to get more interested in the transports is I'd like to see some negativity come in fairly soon here and generate that major higher low on the monthly chart. And then that would show a potential change in polarity on the monthly chart as well, which would be confirmed as it makes new highs and shows itself a change in polarity. But starting off with a higher low is a good first start for this that we can make against as a tradable bottom. Now, what can we trade on the transports? It's difficult to trade something like this because the Tran itself has no options. However, what we can use is something like the IYT. Well, let's try that again. The IYT, which is the iShares transportation average. So this one certainly has options, although it doesn't have weeklies on it. So let's take a look and see how decent these are. We'll look at volume and open interest, and it's a little thin. It's surprisingly thin. So this may be this is okay, but I probably would look for something else. Perhaps even trading some of the bellwethers inside the transports, such as the UPSs and the FedExs and so forth of the transport. So we can definitely find something within the transport average that we can directly trade, which is a lot more liquid than the IYT. So that's kind of a recurring theme these days, is that we're seeing a strong rally off of the bottom, but to me that's not a tradable low yet until the monthly chart puts in that major higher low, which is, of course, going to scare a lot of people. Right now we're getting so complacent and markets are just sort of marching higher and grinding higher and everything like that. And the complacency is going to set the hook pretty soon here. I'd say within the next 4 weeks, we should see that event causing perhaps that tradable higher low. That's it for today's Market Minute. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you soon.